Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we have a new session about Azure Sentinel, but before we go a little bit deeper into the topic from today, I want to give you a short introduction about me. My name is Lagler-Gruener. I'm a multi-cloud architect in one of the biggest consulting companies in Austria. I'm working since 2012 with public cloud, mainly focusing on Microsoft Azure at the beginning. And over the time, I'm realizing it's a good idea to go more broader and also specializing into AWS and GCP. But my main focus and really my deep dive knowledge is into Microsoft Azure. You can see also I have many certifications on Microsoft Azure in different levels and different areas. And also I have GCP and AWS certifications too. You can find my social profile on different areas like Facebook, Twitter, Xing, LinkedIn. I also have my private YouTube channel for sure, and I have my private GitHub repositories where I share my knowledge, my scripts, my solutions with the community. You can also visit my new private blog called cloudblogger.at. And this is also the reason why my last video is a long time ago, because my old blog is going down and I've lost all my content. But no worries about this. I'm starting from scratch and with many new features, with many new ideas in my blog. That session from today will covering the topic Azure Sentinel role-based access controls options. It's only a live demo session, so the theory section or the theory section is built in my blog, in my private blog. You can visit my private blog to see the whole solution, what I will demonstrate in my video for you, also in a blog format. So feel free, visit my blog, see it, the blog post, and you can do this step by step in your environment. Okay, so enough from me. So let's hand over to my demo environment. You will see here I have a browser open with the Azure portal. I've prepared something, so I've prepared Azure Sentinel, Azure Log Analytics, data connectors, and you will see I have finished configuration. So when we open Azure Sentinel, you will see, okay, I have my resource group, I have my log analytics, and on top Azure Sentinel configured. So I have many data connectors in place, data are sent to my environment, and I have my analytics rules, stuff, and so on. But it's not the point from the topic from today. Today we will cover about, okay, what kind of permission levels do you have? So it is covered into 4 different sections. So the default role-based access controls, the custom role-based access controls, the custom role-based access controls based on tables, and the custom role-based access control based on custom tables. Okay, it sounds really strange, but it is not so difficult. The last 3 options are more difficult, so we are starting from the easiest one. The easiest one means, okay, we are using Azure Sentinel and want to use also the pre-built role-based access controls. So let's go to our resource group where we are storing our Azure Sentinel environment. Normally I'm creating minimum 2 resource groups, the resource group for Sentinel itself and the resource group for the Sentinel automation, but this is another topic. So let's go to the Sentinel resource group and let's go to the access control EAM section. In this section you can find the different permissions what you have in Azure Sentinel. So we have per default 3 built-in permissions. So let's go to the roles and let's search for Sentinel. You see here, not 3, we have 4 permissions, but for our user assignment, 3 permissions relevant. So first of all, we have the Azure Sentinel Reader permission. This permission is the basic permission, so it's the most common permission for Sentinel viewers. So if I want to give a colleague of you the permission to view all data inside Azure Sentinel, all workbooks, all analytics rules, the incidents and on, you can give those customers or those colleagues the reader permission. When we think about security analysts, the right permission for security analysts are Azure Sentinel Responder. Why Azure Sentinel Responder? Azure Sentinel Responder have the same permission like Azure Sentinel Reader, and on top or additionally, they have the ability to edit incidents, assign incidents, close incidents, and so on. So really important part here, Azure Sentinel Responder are normal, the default permission for Azure for security analysts. When we go one step further and think about, okay, security engineers who will create new analytics rules, new hunting rules, maybe new workbooks, the right permission for those users are Sentinel contributor. So with this built-in permission, you have the ability to create new resources inside Azure Sentinel too. And the last permission here is a special one. So Azure Sentinel Automation Contributor is a really interesting permission. It's not a user assignable or a user-based permission. This permission is only created for Azure Sentinel, for the Azure Sentinel service itself. Why does we need this permission? Because when we think about not a CM system, when we think about a SOA, so we also want to automate something or respond to something, Azure Sentinel needs the permission to assign workbooks to automation rules. And this is the reason why I'm creating normally two resource groups. One resource group for Azure Sentinel and a separate resource group for Azure Automation, for Azure Sentinel Automation. Okay, so let's have a look to the permissions. So my recommendation here is always assign user groups to those roles. So we have here, this is my naming standard. So I have here Azure Sentinel Contributor permission assigned to a group, Azure Sentinel Reader assigned to a group, and Azure Sentinel Responder assigned to a group. So really important, always assign groups to Azure role-based access controls roles. Okay, that are the three most common permissions, most common built-in permissions for Azure Sentinel. So when we think about Azure Sentinel and we want to use automation, we have to assign permission to Azure Sentinel, to the service itself, to all playbooks. So let's go to the Sentinel Automation resource group. Let's go to the role assignment, and you will see here the Azure Sentinel Automation Contributor role is assigned to Azure Security Insights, and this is an application. And this is the application for Azure Sentinel. So we require those permission only for this application, managed application. Okay, that's the important part here. But when we think about security analysts and security engineers, we also want to execute manually playbooks or create playbooks. To do this, we have a separate role. It's not a specified role for Azure Sentinel. It's a specified role for Azure Log Analytics, for Azure Automation. So in this case, we have to add a separate permission. So click to add role assignment. I want to show also the assignment process. In this case, logic app contributor. So this permission we normally use for security analysts and for security engineers too, to give the ability to create new logic app rules, logic app workflows, and also to execute logic app workflows. So think about when we create permissions, the built-in permissions, we have to add 4 roles, 4 built-in roles. This is the Azure Sentinel reader, the Azure Sentinel contributor, and the Azure Sentinel responder. And for the user permission, also the logic app contributor to execute logic apps from the security engineers and security analysts perspective. Okay, that's the simplest way to assign permissions. Let's go one step further and think about in some situations we want to assign custom permission. The responder rule is okay, but there are some functionalities available which I don't want to assign to each security analyst. Okay, in this case we can create custom permissions. Custom permissions normally used in some situations where the permissions are more specific. The permission have to be more specific, and keep in mind you have to create your own permission based on resource provider. It's an important part. We have 2 resource providers which are needing by Azure Sentinel or Azure Log Analytics, and exactly on those resource provider we give the permission, the action permission. Okay, so let's go to the process to create a custom role-based access control permission. So same situation, we are here on the Azure Sentinel resource group, for example, and go to the access control EM, click on add, and here you have the ability to add a custom role. So since 1 year, I guess, you have the ability to do this over the portal. Before the functionality was added to the Azure portal, we only have the ability to create custom roles over infrastructure as code like PowerShell or ARM templates. So let's click on create a new custom role. The first one you have to define is your name. So this is my name. You have to add a description. Okay, great. And then you have a baseline option. What you can do, you can use, and this is from my point of view, the nicest way, you can clone an existing role. And in this case, you can select, for example, Sentinel responder. Okay, I'm using Sentinel responder, clone those permissions. And the next step, I want to change the permission. So I want to remove exactly, for example, read workbooks or change workbooks or whatever. You can do this over this way, or you can start from scratch. It's also possible. So you can do this also. In this case, in my case, I will start from scratch and I will go to the next section, the permission section. So now we have the ability to add permission and also to exclude permissions. So when we go to the Azure Sentinel perspective and say, okay, hey, I want to assign the permission, the reader permission for the whole Sentinel environment for all users, okay? But I want to exclude only one functionality from Azure Sentinel. You can do this on 2 ways. You can include each separate action and only exclude and only remove this one section. Or what you can also do, you can include all read permission to Azure Sentinel and exclude only one separate action. It's also possible, it's the easiest way. Okay, so from my point of view, for this section, I want to show you the resource provider for Azure Sentinel. So we have 2 resource providers which are relevant. So let's go to add permission. And here you can see all available resource provider in Azure Sentinel. It's a huge list. So you can see here there are so much resource providers available, and it's not the end. So there are more and more available in Azure Sentinel, on Azure, I'm sorry, not Azure Sentinel. And for Azure Sentinel, we have two resource providers. We have one resource provider for the log analytics. This is the foundation for Azure Sentinel. So Azure Sentinel only works on top of Azure Log Analytics. It's important here. And to assign permission to Azure Log Analytics, we have the resource provider Microsoft.Operational Insights. Microsoft Operational Insights, or you can also search for Log Analytics. So in this case, open the permission, and you also see here a huge list of actions inside Operational Insights. So we can go here to say, okay, get cluster from the Operational Insights cluster action. We can also assign perform query pack actions from the Operational Insight action section. So you have here many functionalities, many actions that you can assign or add or exclude. So keep this in mind. You can do this for Log Analytics, and you also can do this for Sentinel itself. So in this case, it's not Microsoft Operational Insights, it's Microsoft Security. I'm sorry, that's the resource provider, in this case, Microsoft Security Insights. So this is the resource provider for Azure Sentinel. And when we go here inside, we can say, okay, get alert rules. Yes, we can assign the permission to get alert rules, or we can exclude it. We can assign permission, get automation rules, for example, or we can assign the permission, get bookmarks. So we have really the option to assign a fine granular permission set for each user with the custom roles. So it's a little bit harder to implement because you have to know, okay, what are the permissions what the user are needing. So in the most situation and the most configuration, I will go here, clone the exist one, example the responder, go to next, and okay, Azure Sentinel responder, go to next, and now you will see, okay, what are the whole permissions from Azure Sentinel responder. And in some situation, I have to remove some permissions from that user. So you can go here and say, okay, Microsoft Security Insight cases, I want to remove for exactly this permission, and then the permission is removed. Okay, so let's go to the next important part or next important step here. Go to next, and you have to define the Assignable scope. And my predefined Assignable scope is not the best idea, because this permission, this custom permission, is only available on the resource group Azure Sentinel. In this case, it's maybe it's okay, but in some other situations, when you have not only one Sentinel environment, when you have more Sentinel environment, and on top as umbrella system Azure Lighthouse, for example, you have to add this permission not on only one resource group, on only one Sentinel environment. You have to assign this permission on more Sentinel environment inside your subscription or inside your company. So we have the ability to assign the scope here to resource group. We've seen it before. You have the ability to assign it to a subscription level. Yes, you can do this. Or you can also assign this to a management group level, which means, okay, when I assign it, for example, to my root management group, all sub-subscriptions have the ability to assign this custom role. So in many situations, the best option here is the subscription level, or in other situations also the management group level. And at the end you have also the JSON options, so the JSON template itself, which will be created from your custom role. You can reuse it. You can reuse it in your infrastructure as code environment to create automatically those permission in other environments or other custom environments. And at the end you have the review and create. In this case it's I've got an error because I have no assignable scope defined. And that's it. You can do this. You can do this in this way to create custom permissions. Okay, so important. We have here the ability to assign custom permission actions to Azure Sentinel for each user. But let's go to Azure Sentinel itself. So this is the second option. So now we go to the third options, the table level permission. So normally when you assign a responder role, a viewer role, a contributor role from Sentinel perspective, or a custom permission role to a user, the user has the ability to view all data from your log analytics workspace, which is the foundation. So let's go to the log analytics workspace itself. Scroll down. Here is my log analytics workspace, and on the left side you can see here the log section under general. So here we have the log section. Okay, depending on your data connector, depending on your solutions which are assigned to the log analytics space or to the Azure Sentinel environment, you have more or less tables here. So these are the default tables for Azure Sentinel, excluding the Office activity here. This is coming from a connector itself. So here we have tables. So when we click here, for example, to the security alert table, we can execute this table, or we can execute the query to get information about all of my alerts in Azure Sentinel. Okay, that's okay, but we can also go here to the log management section and say, hey, I want to show all Azure activities in my environment. And you will see all activities from Azure in log analytics. So, and here's the point. Many users or in many situations, many customers say, hey, I want to connect more and more data connected. I want to connect more and more data to my Azure Sentinel environment, but I don't want to give the security analyst the permission to the whole logs, or I want to add a custom, I want to add a solution and share those information, only those information with the department, which is who are the owners from this application. And it's not possible with the built-in permission, with, for example, the reader permission, because the reader permission have access to all logs here, to all Sentinel logs, to all log management logs, security center free logs, or custom logs. So what you can do here is you can define a custom role to users and say, okay, the department XYZ want to access only to, for example, Office 365 data, or to the Azure activity data. Only to those information, only those informations are available for this department. What you can do is, when the permission or when the table is a connector, a default table, and is stored in Azure Sentinel, and Sentinel RBAC, Azure Log Management, or other solutions, you can assign a custom permission. So it's the same process. I will go here to the access control EM, so you can do this on every section. Same situation. Go to add custom. Not here. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not available on the resource section. I'm sorry. You have to go to the resource group. So add custom role. Same situation. Go to permission. Click on add permission. Here the important part. here you can only use one resource provider. The resource provider named Microsoft Operational Insights for Log Analytics, because the tables are stored in Log Analytics and are not stored in Azure Sentinel. It's apart from Log Analytics. So let's go to the actions here, to the permission action, and let's scroll down. So here we have a few seconds. So we have query. Okay, here it's starting. We have here Microsoft Operational Insights, Workspace, Query, and here is the table itself. This means, okay, it's an available table. It's not a table which is available in your Sentinel environments maybe, but you can choose the permission for this table. And when we think about back, we have the table Office activity. So let's scroll down to Office. Here we are. Here is the permission for the table Microsoft Operational Insights Workspace Query Office Activity. What I can do is I can here select, okay, read Office Activity data. And when I do this, the customer only have access to this table, only to this table. Okay, so let's do this. So let's go back to the basics section. Let's define a name. Demo Sentinel RBAC Office Activity. So let's go next, start from scratch, add, select Microsoft.Operational Insights, and here assign the Office Activity data permission. Okay, now we have the ability to read the information from the Office Activity, and we need two extra permissions too. So go to the resource provider, Microsoft Operational, Log Analytics, go to search for Workspace read. Here we go. Add this permission and add another permission. I can also search it here, Microsoft Operational Insight Workspace Query Read. Open the resource provider and assign the permission. Okay, go to the next step. Click on Assignable scope. In this case, it's okay for me, only on the resource group, and click on Create. Okay, now I have the ability to assign the permission, assign a role assignment. Click here on Sentinel. Filter for your built-in or custom roles. So you have to have refresh. So here we are. This is the custom permission. Select the permission, click on next. And now you have the ability to assign the permission to a user or to a group. In my section, not the best idea. I've assigned the permission to my demo user, Sentinel 2. Great. Review and assign. And now I have the permission assigned to exactly that user. So let's go back to the overview, and here we should see demo Sentinel RBAC office activity to my Sentinel-2 user. Okay, awesome. So let's double check the permission. So let's go to my environment. So I'm here connected with my Sentinel-2 user. You can see it here. I have here my Sentinel-2 user. So one moment. Here we are. Sentinel-2 user is signed in to the Azure. You can see I have only access to my Log Analytics Sentinel demo log workspace. And let's go to this workspace. It can take some minutes to add the permission to the Azure portal. So when you assign the permission to and you open 2 seconds later the permission with the assigned user, you can get some errors. So it's possible. So wait a few minutes and then everything should be in place. So let's go to the logs and let's try to query here our Azure activity logs or our Azure Sentinel alert logs. So let's go to the log management and let's try to query the Azure activity from the last 24 hours. Click on execute and you will see nothing. So you don't get any errors or whatever, you only get no result in this case. So let's double check this with the Azure Sentinel alerts table here. Security alerts. Execute, nothing here from the last 24 hours. But let's go to the office activity data. So this table was assigned to my custom role. Click here into office activity and click on execute and you will see all my office activity from the last 24 hours. So it's working fine. You can use view only this table. You can also assign a custom Sentinel permission to open Sentinel, also to assign a workbook to the user, or you have also the ability to give this information to a separate dashboard. So that brings me to the fourth option. So let's go back to the production environment with my admin user. So let's go back to our log analytics. And here we have log analytics. Here we are. Let's go to the logs and let's see what kind of logs are available, what kind of tables are available. So we have here the Azure Sentinel, we have the Sentinel UEBA, we have log management where the most tables are available based on your custom connectors. We have here solution tables for Azure Security Center, and we have here a separate section for custom logs. And custom log is a really important part in Azure Sentinel. So think about a custom solution. So you have an application on premise. This application have required data for the security analyst and maybe also required data for the owners of the application, a separate unit, separate colleagues. So only these colleagues have to want to add or want to have the permission to read data from the custom log. And the bad thing here is with the permission level which I've seen before is only available for the default tables here. For the custom log table we have only one permission. This means, okay, you have access to all custom logs. So you cannot separate here, okay, I have my Ubiquity environment here, or Azure Active Directory risk assign in custom log. You cannot define here specified permission for only this table. So let's go to the access control EM section. Let's go to my custom policy. Here we are. I'm sorry, not here. Let's go to the roles. Let's filter here or sort here by the custom roles. Click on add in the assignment. change here to the name here to custom log. Click on next and add a new permission. Also from Microsoft Operation, from Log Analytics, and the permission is named Microsoft Operational Insights Workspace Query Tables Custom. And this means when I select here the permission, the user have the ability to read the data from all custom tables. So let's assign the permission here to the user. Let's click on next, 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 and update. Now we have to wait a few minutes, and after a few minutes we are sign back with the user, and now then we will see, okay, the user have the permission or the ability to query all custom logs. So let's sign out here. Sign in again. Oh, sign out, I'm sorry. Sign in again. Say no. Nope. Select the Log Analytics workspace. Go to the logs. Go to the custom logs and select, for example, the ubiquity logs. Click on run and you will get the informations from exactly that table. So there's nothing special defined. Okay, you have only access for the ubiquity custom logs, but you can do this. You can do this with different options. So you have different options to implement this. So let's think about the following. You have your application on premise, and your application is, for example, a firewall. And that firewall sends syslog information to a separate syslog collector. So we need a separate syslog collector, and those informations are available in Azure over syslog, where you can also transform those information to the common event format and send those information to Azure Log Analytics. So what will happen is, when we assign, and we have this in my situation here, when we add those information to Log Analytics, the resource ID from the Log Analytics collector will also assign automatically to my environment. So in this case, you see here, I have here my subscription. I also have here my resource group, and here you can see the VM, which is the Sentinel connector. In this case, I have here my Sentinel Unify connector available, and this is sending my information from on-premise from my firewall. So my firewall is sending the information to the syslog collector, and the syslog collector is sending the information to Azure Log Analytics. And that's the reason why automatically the resource ID is available inside my Log Analytics store. So, but in my case, I want to show you a custom solution. So I don't have a standardized syslog connector. In my case, I have an application and I want to get the information from the application, for example, from a web API or from a custom logger, whatever. What you can do is you can write a separate PowerShell script. So you can do this with a PowerShell script. You can do this also with over a separate SDK. But in my case, I'm using PowerShell because I'm more familiar with PowerShell, and I'm not so the expert with .NET coding. So there are much better people available like me. So I'm using PowerShell. And there's a script available, and the important part here is, before we create the script, we should create, for example, an Azure resource. and each Azure resource have a resource ID. So when we go, for example, once more to the Azure Log Analytics workspace and click here on Properties, you can see here, this is my, okay, I have to remove it. This here is my resource ID for my Azure Sentinel Log Analytics workspace. Okay, and I can use this resource ID. But in my case, I want to create a separate solution for my department, and only the department want to view only those logs from my Log Analytics workspace. And what we can do is we can create, for example, a dashboard, a separate dashboard. It's also a resource in Azure with a separate resource ID. So let's go to dashboards, click on add dashboard, a blank dashboard. I want to create a blank dashboard. And here, Azure Sentinel dashboard, click on done. Click on save. Awesome. So I have now a new dashboard and I want to share this dashboard and save the dashboard in my predefined resource group, in this case, department dashboard. So I have here my dashboard, click on publish. Great. Dashboard is now created and I can go to my resource group named department dashboard, and you will see here, okay, there's a new resource available in a few seconds with an automatic generated grid and the name. So let's go to the dashboard, go to unhide the section here, and here we are, we have here our resource ID. So let's copy the resource ID, and we will need this resource ID in my script. So the script which I want to show you in a few seconds is also available on my GitHub repository, so it's linked on the comments below. So you can download the script, change the workspace ID and the workspace key, and now then you have the ability, for sure, change the resource ID, and then you have the same situation like my demo environment. So here we are. This is the script. It's a custom script. It's a script downloaded from Microsoft, and some cases are here customized from my for my environment. So in this case, we have here the function post log analytics data, and inside the log analytics data, we have to define a custom header, XMS Azure resource ID, and I have to add my resource ID here, paste it. And then we can go to the workspace ID section, the primary key section, and add here the required information. And where you can get those information, I will show you the options too here. Go back to the Sentinel resource group and select the Sentinel Log Analytics workspace. And here we have the agent management section where you can find the workspace ID and the primary key. So copy the workspace ID, copy the primary key, paste it into the script and execute the script. So execute, we should get the 200 back. And now we have to wait a few minutes. Then we see here in the resource group and log analytics, we can see another entries. So we should see in a few minutes, not 2 entries, we should see 4 entries in the custom table here. Now we have 2, I hope, or 4. Oh no, okay, great. We have now here 4 entries with the T42, 3, 4 and 5, and with the string value 1 and data 2. Okay, great. So what we can do now is we should switch back to the user and should wait till the permission is really is removed. So let's execute. Now it's working. So sign out and sign back to the session in a few minutes. So here we are back again. So let's go to the Sentinel, Log Analytics Sentinel workspace. Go to the logs, select the custom logs and the custom permission table. Execute the query and hopefully we should see nothing. So this means we are in the base situation, so we don't have access to the custom logs. We have for sure access to our Office activity logs. So this is available, so we have the permission here. Okay, great. Now I want to assign the resource ID permission. So what will happen in the back end? So in this case, when we open here, I'm logged in with my admin account, go to the logs, select here the custom logs and query the table. Oh, I'm sorry. Query the table and you will see here 4 entries. And each entry have another information here named resource ID. And this resource ID is bound to my dashboards, my first and my second dashboard. Okay, and what I will do here now is I will go to the resource group. I'm going to the dashboards resource group and select, for example, the first dashboard. And assign here a user permission. It's not a good idea to assign the user directly, but in my case, I will do this in my environment. So always use groups instead of user assignment. In this case, I will do this for demonstration. So I assign here a reader permission, a normal reader permission. I don't need a separate permission. Reader is fine, it's absolutely fine. So next, select here the user, Sentinel 2, select and review assign, and the assignment should be okay, great. So now it takes a few minutes till the user get the permission. So we should log off and log in again. Then the user is able to see the dashboard and is also able to see the custom logs from our Log Analytics workspace. But, and this is the really cool stuff here, only 2 entries from my custom log table, because I have 2 different resource ID. One resource ID is for exactly this dashboard and another resource ID is for the second dashboard, and the customer don't have permission to the second dashboard, which means it doesn't have permission to the data from the second dashboard. So let's go back, sign off, sign in again in a few minutes, and let's see what happened. So here we are now back to my environment. We are logged in with the Sentinel 2 user. So let's see what happens. Let's go to the all resources and you will see I have permission to my Log Analytics workspace and to my dashboard. Okay, so let's go to the Log Analytics workspace and let's go to the logs. Normally, you should have permission here to the custom logs, the table here. Come on. But you don't get anything back. That's the bad thing. But what you can do is you have to change the scope, because now we are using exactly my Log Analytics workspace. We have to change the scope, not exactly to this workspace. So, we have to change to our subscription. So select here the scope, change it to your subscription and click on apply. And now you can see here the subscription level, and you see much more workspaces, which doesn't mean, okay, you have access to another workspace. You only have access to the Log Analytics Sentinel workspace. But here you can go to the custom logs and you will see here the custom table. And when I execute now the query, you should see only 2 items from 4 items. Yes, perfect. So we only see the 42 and 43, which is the data entry for my dashboard. So let's scroll, let's expand it here. For my dashboard with this ID. So when I go back and assign the user permission to the second dashboard, I will see 4 entries in my table. So what you can do now is you can go and say, okay, hey, I want to pin this information to my dashboard. Select here dashboard, the shared dashboard, in this case Demo Sentinel. But I guess I get an error because I only have a reader permission, yes, for exactly. So let's go back to our admin session, go to our Log Analytics workspace, not here, I'm sorry, to the Sentinel, to the logs, not here logs, man, go to the Sentinel, go here inside Sentinel Log Analytics workspace to logs, change the scope to the subscription, or not the subscription, only to Log Analytics. In this case, I'm using here my Log Analytics. So log, Azure log. Where is it? Okay, it's okay. So click on apply. It's okay, it's fine. So let's go to the custom log, execute the query. Here we are, we have here 4 entries. Pin this entry to dashboard, select here the shared dashboard. In this case, I'm using the main dashboard, pin it, and go to the dashboard, select the first one, and you will see here the results. And when I switch back to the user session, go to the dashboard, select here my dashboard, change the scope, sorry for that. We should get 2 entries. Okay, that's it. That's from the role-based access control section. So it's not the end. In the near future, we should have another ability to transform during the implementation to Log Analytics. So we can transform the data information also for standardized connectors, but it's maybe available in a few months. Let's try. So I don't know exactly what happens. Yeah, that's from my session. So visit also my blog, visit also the session, the information for my blog, and visit my GitHub repository where you can find the script also. Okay, that's it. Have fun. And if you have some questions, ping me over the social profiles.